Hello there. It's been 3 years since I uploaded a video. I've been busy. I'm here to bring back the fitness channel and talk about something I set up because of quarantine and everyone's inside and not doing very much and looking to train and watching lots of anime. So that brought me to the idea of animeworkouts.com, which I've set up. I've seen a couple of people try this before, particularly on YouTube. There's a lot of people that will look at the One Punch Man training system that he talks about and be like, would it work? Or they'll look at Goku and be like, okay, I wonder how Goku trains. Here's the Goku workout. And it's a little bit gimmicky, but I thought there was something there in terms of an idea. So I thought I'd kind of throw my hat in the ring as a coach and say, right, let's look at the anime heroes that everyone uses kind of their physique motivation. Because I know certainly for me, when I started training, I didn't want to look like The Rock or like Brad Pitt in Fight Club or whatever. I think that used to be the kind of the way that it went. And now it's I want to look like Goku. I want to look like Deku, whatever. That's certainly what I hear from if you see younger guys on Reddit or forums or stuff saying, how do I get started or whatever. This is what I want to look like, right? So bit niche, but I thought, why don't we look at the hero or the person in the show as if they were my client, as if I was coaching them. As a coach, you look at how someone trains, how someone looks, and say, right, I reckon you've maybe they got really good quads and adductors and glutes, and you're like, right, maybe horse riding, dancing, something like that is in the background. They got really sick back and not very much on the chest, probably a rower, stuff like this. So you can analyze physiques based on how they look and almost reverse engineer it and say, okay, what would it take to get, on one side you've got All Might's physique versus Eren from Attack on Titan's physique. Obviously very different. If they do training, it probably differs quite a lot, as does what they eat, as does any other supplements they take. So why not take a look at it? So today we're going to do Deku and his Aim to Pass the American Dream workout. So these are all free, by the way, on the site. So you go to My Hero, Deku's Aim to Pass the American Dream. My word, what's going on my internet? Good. Deku's Aim to Pass the American Dream workout. So there's two versions of Deku. There is I'm just getting started and I train with All Might for 10 months to get up to a certain level to become a suitable vessel for One for All. And then there's where are we now, season 4, where he's a bit more jacked up and he's using Infinite 100% with an Eri backpack, and that's I think his training's probably changed. So now we're talking at the kind of 0 to start line version of Deku, when he's training with All Might on the beach and it's the montage and he's pulling fridges around. So that's the physique that we're talking about. So I think this would be a good, if someone was just starting out, this would be a great kind of first program to really, not jump in at the deep end, but, get started with something pretty robust, like a full body training program. Or if you're an experienced lifter and you wanted to mix it up, do something a bit fun, like a challenge, do the 30 days of Deku or whatever. This is a sound workout or way of training. So let's jump right into it, guys. I'm trying to do the YouTuber thing ironically, and I think it might just come across that I'm trying to do whatever. Either's good. Training to inherit One for All. When looking at characters training, that's just what I just said. How I'm going to analyze it. So let's jump into the actual plan itself. Here we go. So it's 10 months long, and at month 7, All Might jumps in and says, yo, you're overworking, so we're going to change it up a little bit. But in the anime itself, you're not given a huge amount of what it is. You have to go off one page that's written down here in Japanese, and then obviously in the montage itself, what those guys are doing. So phase 1, 4 a.m, wake up, no thanks. 5 a.m. to 7:30 aerobic exercise. So I assume that is like steady state cardio. 8:45 to 3:20 school. Sounds about right. 4 p.m. to 7 trash cleaning. So they've got the Dagobah Municipal Beach or something like that. And it's super filthy, and All Might and Deku are cleaning that up. The idea being that Deku lifting these certain bits of trash, he's having to use different muscle groups when he's doing it. So I look at that as kind of compound lifts, not a huge amount of structure. But then he's got dinner, and then menu on upper page. So we don't know what that is, but I have a think about what his diet might be later. And then basic physical fitness training, 8:30 to 11. And it says push-ups, abdominal muscle, back muscle, C-set plan. So that's all in this schedule that you see in the anime, right? So looking at this, the 4 a.m. wake up and the going to bed at midnight, he's getting 4 hours of sleep, and he's training, so 5, 7:30, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got like 5 hours, over 5 hours of training in here, which is pretty nuts. When you're setting up any sort of workout plan, the training is the stimulus that causes your body to want to grow, but then it's the fuel that makes you grow is the food that you're shoveling in, and then the growth itself happens while you're resting. So rest is super important, and I think that's something that has kind of been left out here. But I get it; they're doing the extreme transformation, so I'm okay with it. As I said, the trash cleaning idea makes a lot of sense to me in terms of it's basically full body training. So I say here, he's pushing a filing cabinet along. That's a deadlift / row, a tire push, bench press, but with a bit of a lunge as well attached to it. Press up, bench press, running, that's running. Truck push, again, bench press or a lunge. He's doing bicep curls. There's a bit, he's lifting trash up to his shoulder level, so he's cleaning it and putting it on a truck. Carrying All Might on his shoulders, that's just a farmer's walk. There's loads of parallels that you can take from this trash cleanup and throw it into a gym workout. Is Deku's physique achievable naturally? Absolutely, yes it is. The way I've done this is there's the picture of Deku when he's finished training. You can zoom in here. There's Deku when he's finished training. He's got, capped off shoulders, obviously pretty lean. He's sub 10% body fat, maybe just creeping below it. He's got biceps defined, chest. You can tell he's trained his chest, but it needs a bit of work. Traps are sick for a 15-year-old. As a comparison, this is me at 18 after a year or two of training. I started out just doing pretty much like Deku was doing, press-ups and curls and pull-ups and that in my garage, and then it kind of evolved into a gym training after about a year of that. So a year to 2 years of training. And I think looking at the two, my arms are probably a bit bigger than Deku's. His certainly traps and shoulders look like they're a bit more defined than me. But broadly, you can see that it's super achievable, and he hasn't used any extracurriculars for that. It's totally a natural progression. His is 10 months. I think probably more looking like a year or two of training there. Obviously, genetics is a massive factor, but yeah, I think about 2 years. I think that's fair to say, about 2 years. Right, onto his nutrition. Again, there's no set, you don't see in the anime this is exactly what he's eating, but they show him eating lots of protein, fish and meat, rice for carbs, and then loads of vegetables. That's a pretty good, a solid foundation for bodybuilding or growing muscle, getting fitter. The whole, that people call it a bro diet, where you eat the traditionally healthy whole foods. That's been used in bodybuilding since bodybuilding was a thing, for a reason, because it works. The simple stuff is always the best. So pretty good shout on that. Rice, meat, fish, veg, and eating a lot of it if you want to get big. Particularly if you're, so Deku's age, right? 15, let's call it 15 to 18, that period. To gain mass, your metabolism is probably quite quick. And even if you're leaning onto the overweight side, if you want to grow muscle, you're probably really going to have to actually fuel that with your body. So eating lots of food, verging on everything that isn't nailed down. It kind of depends on your metabolism, but that's a pretty good way of looking at it. Deku looks like he's got a pretty quick metabolism, skinny kid. I would easily have him on it depends person to person, but you'd start at about 3,000 calories a day to get him kind of, to start assessing whether he was growing. And then if he wasn't getting stronger and growing, as you wanted him to, okay, 3-5, 4-5, it might have to go that high very quickly. He's probably eating about 5 meals a day. Again, just to get those calories in, because it's very difficult to do that in 3 meals. Supplement. He's not bodybuilding here. He is, that first year of training that you got, pretty much anything that you do, if you're eating, training and sleeping, you're going to see some good results. You don't need to sort about with, expensive supplements or, bizarre training protocols. It's basically lift heavy, eat a lot, sleep, you're going to grow muscle. So they kind of got that right here. I think, who wrote it? Horikoshi. He obviously has like a background in, is it Horikoshi? Look at this. This is how you know I'm a real weeb, not a fake one. Yes, Kohai Horikoshi. So he's obviously looked into training a little bit. So, on to my version of the Aim to Pass the American Dream plan. So I do not recommend that you jump on the full anime one because it's mental. The not sleeping, the 5 hours plus of training, you're just going to run yourself into the ground. It's a very punishment heavy program, if you can call it a program. I like the trash cleaning thing. I mentioned that on the website. If you can do some what I call extracurricular work or cardio that is volunteering or something like that, that's awesome, and that's very actual hero plus ultra. We like that. But in terms of getting a physique, 5 hours of training is too much. Or let me put it this way: if you do 5 hours of training, you're not training intensely enough. If you can go further than an hour and an hour and a half of training, you're training like a... With that said, so it's a full body plan. And what I've done is I've taken the basic movements that All Might is trying to emulate with the trash picking up and pushing around and moving. And I've just kind of standardized that to, if you had a gym, what is the gym equivalent of, pushing a truck? Okay, well, it's going to be lunges and a bench press. He does have him doing bench press and curl and stuff as well. So this is a pretty close, what we're going to call real world analogy for what the All Might training program is, the Aim to Pass the American Dream program. So day 1 on your full body training, we're going to hit barbell bench press, 4 sets of 8. Squat, we've got 2 sets of 10, 3 sets of 8. So again, rough and ready, you're growing muscle, you want your reps between 8 to 10, 8 to 12. I tend to go maybe erring towards a bit lower than that and develop some strength in the first exercise, but because he's new to training, I think staying around 8 reps and not going below that from a safety standpoint is probably quite a cool idea. Obviously you can introduce the strength stuff over time. Shoulder press, barbell or dumbbell, same deal. Bulgarian split squat, that's sort of emulating the kind of pushing work that he was doing with the truck. Dumbbell chest fly, standard. If you're doing a press for a chest, you want to incorporate some sort of fly as well. Then you're doing both the main functions of the pectoral. Tricep push down, self-explanatory. McGill crunch, I put those in there because a regular crunch is cool, but it does put I say a little. For some people, it can put a little bit of pressure over time on the lower back. If you're doing sit-ups, crunches, lots of stuff like that. And I think Deku's going from a period of, relative inactivity to this training. So I wanted to keep his back protected while he's doing squats and bench and stuff. I don't want to weaken it further. So if you Google McGill crunch, it's super easy. You're laying down and then you're just curling the upper portion of your body up while keeping the lower back flat on the floor. You can really mess yourself up with it, body weight, if you do it hard. But you're gonna save your lower back a little bit in the long run if you're just getting going. Okay, day 2, same deal. We're doing, this is but day 1 was more push focused. Day 2 is more pull focused. Pull-ups, perfect, back pull for that. So 4 sets to failure. If you can't do a pull-up yet, I recommend, one leg raised on like a step or something to help you up there, so you can build up to the idea of doing pull-ups. Maybe do some negatives, but eventually build up to, you should be able to do 4 to 5 sets, consistently, same number of reps. Row, barbell on machine, don't really mind what it is, but if we've got a pull, we also want to get a row. The back can pull through a basically unlimited number of angles, but if you cover off a vertical pull and a horizontal row, basically done your back. Romanian deadlift. Deadlift sounds like a back movement. It's also a lot of hamstring in this one. So you've got a relatively straight leg and you're kind of pulling through your hamstrings. Great compound movement, again, in terms of trash pickup, exactly the kind of thing that we're looking at in the anime. Hamstring curl, just a little bit more of a regimented way of hitting your hamstrings. Bicep curl, dumbbell or barbell, we see Deku doing those in the training montage. Hanging knee raise, another meat and potatoes ab movement. Deku's got really good abs, in the image for when he's done. So you do want to build out the muscle there. If you just lose fat, you end up with what I call like a flat pack, like an IKEA flat pack, right? You can see your abs, but it's just because you're skinny. That kind of blocky look that he's got is because he's actually trained the muscle. So that's why the knee raise, the McGill crunch is in there. On top of the squat and bench press and stuff, that will build a really solid set of abs. Day 3, this is kind of a bit of everything thrown in, what I would refer to as like accessories. So maybe little fiddly bits that we didn't quite cover off in the other ones. So we got pull-ups again, superset with press-ups, both great meat and potatoes movements, chest, back, old school Arnold stuff. Incline dumbbell bench press, bit of the upper chest, lateral raise for the shoulders. Deku's got really well-capped shoulders. Like if we come up here, like that roundness, that comes from training the medial, that's the side deltoid, as well as the front and back, right? So the pushing will take care of the front. This lateral raise will take care of the side a lot more. Where are we? Walking lunges, kind of the same as a Bulgarian split squat, but more quad focus, less glute. And again, I'm thinking like when he's got all might on his back and he's kind of lunging forward, walking forward, that's kind of recreating that in the gym. Shrugs, Deku's got sick traps, like solid traps. So I'm thinking including some sort of shrug to get this physique is a good idea. Supersetting the shrugs with rear delt fly, really good habit to get into doing rear delts. It makes your shoulders look good from the side, so you want your shoulder to look like you could draw a circle around it, and it's not like a lot of people are very heavy here, so it's kind of like a weird comma shape. You want to build the rear delt, and it also helps with posture. So when you're standing there, you're not slouched. You're up, chest is erect, and you look confident when you walk into a ring. Rear delts is important. Where are we? Calf raise. Got to throw carbs in. You don't really see much of Deku's calves, but when he's doing those lunges and stuff like that, he would have been working them a bit. So it's just a structured way of throwing that in. Resting a minute to a minute 30 between sets. Bit of a warm up here, beginning, for 5 minutes. Should be able to get through this workout in 45 minutes to an hour and 10, depending on how fast you're going. Cardio now. Will cardio get you a lean muscular physique? No. So I go into it in detail in the article, but basically on its own, cardio, particularly steady state cardio, you're burning more calories in a day, right? So if you eat 2,000 calories and your basal metabolic rate, so what you burn like just by existing, is 1,800, and then you do 200 calories worth of cardio, in a 400 calorie deficit, so you're going to lose weight, right? If you didn't do the cardio and you burn 2,000 but you ate 1,800, you're in a 200 calorie deficit. If you ate 2,100 and you burn 2,000 basal metabolic rate just by existing, you're 100 surplus. So now you're going to stay the same weight or gain it. It's just thermodynamics, right? It's if you burn less than you eat, you will gain weight. If you burn more than you eat, you will lose it. So that being said, doing cardio is good for your fitness. Don't get me wrong; it's good for your heart. It increases your VO2 max, your fitness. But is it going to help you grow muscle? Not really. There's an argument to be made that it helps with digestion and stuff like that. But for what we're talking about, getting this physique, I'm calling it extracurricular. That being said, Deku is super fit. He has to be to do the UA trials and generally be a hero. So I think fitness is good. I like high intensity interval training, so I've thrown in 1 to 2 sessions of that per week to also mirror the aerobic training that Deku's doing, without going mental and doing like every day doing an hour and a half of jogging on top of the like leg training and stuff that you're doing. That's just way too much. But doing 1 or 2 sprint sessions, doesn't have to be actual sprinting. You can do it on a bike, you can do it on a rower, you can swim. Deku's swimming at one point in the show. So there's a way of doing it, you know, in a sensible way that's actually going to benefit your physique, the physique that you're going for. So here it is, 5-minute warm up, 10 intervals with a hard 10 to 15 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute rest, 5-minute cool down. You're done in 20 minutes, and it's way harder than most steady state come at me marathon runners. You know, it's the marathon's a different story. It's a good analogy though. So the marathon, the reason it's called the marathon is a dude was running from the Battle of Marathon to Athens to give the word of who'd won at the battle. He crossed the finish line, like the threshold of the temple at the palace or whatever, said the message, here's what's happened at marathon, and then he died. And now we do an event where everyone does the same, you know, the distance that killed the dude. So, you know, it's obviously it can be done, and it's amazing the people that do get it done. It's obviously a massive feat, but probably not the best when we're talking about your, you know, long-term health and fitness, doing, you know, extreme levels like that. So just something to think about. We're talking about Deku. So I say here it's good, you know, the bit with All Might taking pictures of skinny looking Deku at the start. It's good to have a before picture so you can see how you're changing. Weight is a good, I say this in the article here that I've written, like weight is a good metric to track because it tells you what's happening. Am I eating enough to grow muscle? Am I losing fat? Whatever it is. But the primary thing that you should look at is the mirror, and of course what building work is going on outside. It's been fine all day, and then I record a video for the first time in 3 years and this happened, whatever. So, you know, the taking a before picture is a great idea, and you can track your progress, how you're looking, because fundamentally that's the main thing that we're trying to do here. We're trying to look the part of, you know, Deku post initial hero training. So, you know, that's the kind of thing you should focus on. Okay, scheduling. I talk about how you go about it, but it's effectively, I don't like setting workouts on specific days, so like Monday chest, Tuesday legs, because what happened with my clients would often be like, oh my god, Tuesday's legs, but I've got a birthday party, so now what do? Do I like carry on and do Wednesday arms, and then I miss legs for a week, or do I move legs and then my whole week's messed up? Don't worry about it. I'm going to close the window, because my word. That's not social distancing. Whatever's going on. Right. So the way I prefer to run scheduling is you got workout 1, workout 2, workout 3, and the rule is no more than 3 training days in front of each other without a rest. So you don't go training day, training day, training day, training day, training day. You go training day, rest, training day, rest, or like training day, rest, training day, rest. You see what I mean? You 3 together is the maximum, and it just repeats in a cycle. So if you, for some reason, you know, I don't know, you get a cold, and then it's, you know, your mum's birthday, and you miss 2 days of training, so you go training, rest, easy. You just go training, and you go back onto workout 2, workout 3, and so on. And it means you can keep quite a decent cycle going, and it doesn't have to be, you know, specifically this day 1, day 2, up to day 7. It's just more flexible. And again, like Deku, right? You got school and stuff like that. You know, training can't be your life. It's as important part of your life as like brushing your teeth, but you shouldn't be like, you know, foregoing everything else that you're doing, you know, because you must get a workout in on a specific day. Right. So that's an initial sort of overview of what I'm thinking with the training, what I'm thinking with the scheduling. You know, I like the idea of the program that All Might's put forward as kind of like a simulated gym workout with the trash cleaning making up the bulk of what we see in the training. You know, and he's got the structured like push-ups and gym work as well in the workout. There's just too much in what All Might put forward with the aim to pass the American dream. So what I've done is kind of like real worldify it. So this is sustainable. Someone at you know, Deku's age could complete this, you know, fine and see results. You know, if you're older than Deku, or, you know, I could totally jump on this workout and see some results from it. The main thing to look for is with your weight selection, you want to always be getting better. It's Google progressive overload. I won't bore you with it, but that's basically the most important thing when it comes to training. You know, if you lift 10 kilos for 10 reps, you know, on week 1, week 2, you want to do either 10 kilos for 11 reps, or you want to do, you know, 11 kilos for 10 reps. You want to get a little bit better every single time, or certainly be aiming to. And if you carry on that basis with this training program, and you're getting stronger on all these exercises, and you're fueling the growth, your body is going to start to change, you know. And Deku here, he started off skinny, but he's got, you know, a pretty solid physique, I think, by anyone's standards. You know, following the training program in the anime, and it's totally doable to follow the workout that I've put here. Eat well. There's a separate nutrition guide on the website as well if you want to get a bit more in depth to that. But for now, you know, totally achievable. I'm interested to know if anyone's, you know, up for following it. Hit me up. Let me know how it's going. Let me know what you think of it. And of course, I'm going to start adding, I'm probably going to do maybe like 1 workout a week, I think, and then I'll do videos like this, kind of breaking stuff down. But I think 1 workout a week to the website, and you know, and it's going to be based on anime, right? So I've done a JoJo one as well, which I'll cover in a separate video probably. I'll just keep kind of bringing what is, you know, often stylized or like artistic versions of physiques or whatever into the real world, and looking like, okay, this dude can, you know, he looks a certain type of way and he's able to do this. Like, what's the real world equivalent of it? How would we achieve it? And you know, I don't think that All Might's out here doing like kettlebell swings or something like that. So a lot of the stuff I've seen out there before is kind of like, well, you know, that's not going to get you the physique that's shown. It's just like a good training program, and you slap All Might's name on it, right? So this, I'm actually like, I'm looking at the physique and I'm trying to like pick it apart as if I was a coach. I hope it is useful to people. I had fun doing it. I'm a massive anime nerd, and this was cathartic for me. Like, subscribe, and share for more Minecraft videos. I'll see you soon. What? You haven't tried Gym Buddy's protein donuts? You know they're low calorie, low sugar, and high protein, right? These are a great tasting snack. You can take them with you anywhere, throw them in the gym bag. They're going to support your goals and still taste like a delicious donut. You don't have to rely on... Oh, the ad's over.